There's no use denying it. On Saturday, the Senate voted to confirm Brett Kavanaugh's nomination to the Supreme Court. Fantastic, right? It's amazing. These guys are out of session half the year and they're never around when you need them. But if a pro-corporate judge's confirmation is on the line, you better believe that they'll work weekends. It was only a matter of time before Trump called into Fox News to gloat. Jeanine Pirro's show was his choice this time around. Lucky for us, he's an idiot, so the first 20 seconds of the call can only be described as grandpa doesn't know how to use phones.
Mr. President, thanks for getting back to us.
Dean.
Hi. Okay, so let's get right to it.
How is your reception now, Jeanine? They had a security reception situation, but never sounds too good. Is it okay?
It's okay, and you're on air right now, Mr. President, so let's get to it.
Good. With you, okay. I like being on air.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me? This isn't a landline. It's a BlackBerry. Is this a BlackBerry? It's my favorite. I mean, come on. Susan Collins was a swing vote, and the country was on pins and needles waiting for her big speech revealing whether she was going to confirm Kavanaugh. It was like when LeBron James announced that he was moving to Miami, except instead of taking LeBron away from Cleveland, it was about taking the right to choose away from every woman in the country. Maybe healthcare too, who knows? We haven't gotten a chance to know the real Brett Kavanaugh. Maybe I'll just ask his buddy Squee. Anyway, with bated breath, we watched, and she immediately went after Democrats.
Today, we have come to the conclusion of a confirmation process that has become so dysfunctional, it looks more like a caricature of a gutter-level political campaign.
From the get-go, we all knew it was over. Susan Collins droned on for 45 freaking minutes talking about how moderate Brett Kavanaugh was and pointing out how he voted with Merrick Garland 93% of the time. If they were so similar, why didn't you just vote for Merrick Garland? Next up, Mitch Mcconnell, Senate Majority Leader and animatronic turtle, made the rounds on Sunday shows for a gloat fest of his own. On Face the Nation, he ended up getting super defensive about blocking Merrick Garland's nomination. Here he is trotting out that horrible defense.
That's not at all what happened, John. You're completely misconstruing what happened. What I gave you is the history of this. I know the history of this. I've spent a lot of time on this throughout my career. What I did was entirely consistent with what the history of the Senate's been in that situation going back to 1880.
This argument is my favorite. 1880. Mitch Mcconnell says the 1880s are too long ago. This is hilarious coming from a guy who's fighting for judges whose entire philosophy centers on what the framers literally intended when they wrote the Constitution in the 1780s. He just wanted that seat, so he did whatever he felt was necessary. And he's bringing this ridiculous argument up again for one reason. If Trump has a vacancy in the last year of his term, you know Mitch Mcconnell is going to try to fill it. And you know why? Because he doesn't care about Senate rules or decorum. He just cares about getting more and more power. There's only one way to stop him, and that's to vote in the midterms. The only way he was able to stop Garland and get Gorsuch and also force Kavanaugh on us is because there were more Republicans in the Senate than Democrats. That's it. And you can stop him by doing my favorite thing. Register to vote. The midterms are on November 6th, and registering to vote is easier than ever. Literally just Google, how do I register to vote? And Google will show you all the steps in your state. And tell your friends. My final favorite thing is to thank all the people who worked really hard to make this show possible. So special thanks to Jesus Godoy, Skip Volaco, Bart Kyle, Ja'Cory Palmer, Edwin Umania, Arthur Aguirre, Cassie Hanks, Dan Evans, and Brett Ehrlich. Love you guys, love everyone who's watching the show, and we'll see you next week for another episode of No Filter. You never have to miss another episode of No Filter by ringing the bell below. You'll get notified whenever we publish something new. And don't forget to join TYT and download the TYT Plus app today. Download our TYT Plus app on your iPhone or head over to tyt.com/join.